Welcome back to the Seeing Red MMA podcast here. My name is Dustin, and joined with another special guest this time, my buddy, Hayden.
Hey, how's it going, everybody? Thank you so much for having me on here today. I'm very excited to be a part of this.
My pleasure.
Let's get right into it. We had a great time watching these fights today.
Absolutely. We're going over UFC 286, Leon Edwards defending his belt against the man he took it from, Kamaru Usman, last August via head kick in the 5th round. Yeah, we just got done watching the card there. Another great fights, but let's just dive right into the main event here. You had Leon Edwards winning a majority decision against Kamaru Usman all 5 rounds. What are your take on it?
Sum it up in one word, wow. I did not really think that Leon would be able to do that to Usman. That was a very dominant performance, even with the point taken away.
Yeah, I mean, if you've watched the fight there, you saw that Leon did get a point deduction for grabbing the inside of the glove. He kind of sneakily did it, too, because he underhooked it like this. If you can see my watch, he grabbed his fingers like that, if you pretend that's the edge of the glove there, and then used his other hand to kind of cover his hand that was grabbing it. So real kind of sneaky veteran move there by Leon, but didn't get away with it. Herb Dean was on there, able to catch that there. But, yeah, I mean, I was not expecting Leon to actually perform the way he did there. I mean, he was landing against Kamaru there. He was controlling the distance, defending most of the takedowns, and the few times he got taken down there, he was able to get right back up. So very, very good showing by him.
And you kind of have to give it to him because I think he's the first person to actively try to cheat more than Conor.
That is true.
He kind of got away with a lot of it.
He did. He did get away with a lot of it. I mean, a couple nut shots here and there. But, I mean, that's just the way of the game. I mean, if you start landing, like, more than 3, then it kind of starts to look a little intentional. But in this case here, I mean, he just was spamming that low leg kick there, the inside leg kick of Kamaru Usman's left leg because he was on the southpaw stance. So it was wide open, kind of getting them to think that, hey, even though he's landing the leg kick right now, that same head kick might be coming up here again soon. So I got to mind my P's and Q's.
I have a question for you about this fight.
Go ahead.
What went wrong for Usman?
I think what went wrong is that I think he maybe was overthinking a little bit. I think he was trying to, in like that first round there, he kind of took the center, and then Leon was a lot more slicker than he was last time there. Even though the first round the last time ended up mostly on the ground with Leon on top, surprisingly. I think this time around, I think Kamaru just, it's the first time he's ever been KO'd. It's the first time he's ever really like lost, especially in the UFC there. So I think he was just kind of like, not necessarily nervous, but I think he was just trying to get his bearings under him and get going.
Yeah, I feel like he didn't really ever like have a chance to really just settle in and I don't really, looking back at the fight, I can't really say one thing that he did really well.
Not really.
He never really got into it. I feel like, is that more Usman is just, it was a bad night for him, or was Leon just a better fighter?
I think a better question is, did Leon make it look like he was having an off night because of how well he was performing?
And I don't even know the answer to that.
It was a weird fight. I mean, I didn't even know what to think of it, really, while watching it. I mean, I was kind of going into the end of it, especially with that point deduction, not really knowing who won, but kind of thinking Leon might have taken the edge since they are in London. And, I mean, you know, London judges, I mean, they're notorious for giving it to the Brit, a la Bisping Henderson too.
Some judges even scored when Darren Till got knocked out. They still thought he won the fight.
I mean, they gave him that round.
Yeah, they will do that.
I think the commission had to come over and tell them, like, no.
No, this guy's unconscious. You can't make him win the fight.
You can't win when you're on your back. So it's kind of hard to defend that. But, I mean, that was your main event. Leon Edwards retains the welterweight title. He now has a defense over Kamaru Usman there, and more than likely, just because of the way of the game, and you want a guy who's well-known and probably going to get the title shot next, probably see him against Colby.
Does Colby actually deserve it?
No.
Who deserves it?
I'd say Bilal probably deserves it, but nobody wants to see that. But I think also you could have the argument that Bilal probably needs one more win to get the title shot over someone like Colby.
Does anybody want to see Colby versus Leon?
No.
Like, are people...
I don't. I want to see Leon versus, like, Masvidal, but, I mean, it's kind of hard to give Masvidal the shot, especially if he loses to Burns, and also coming off 2 losses in a row against the former champ, getting KO'd in one of them. The only reason I want to see that is because of 3-piece and a soda.
I mean, you kind of have to give it to Usman because he hollowed out that division so much now that we're literally talking about who does Leon even fight. It's like, does anybody really even deserve it?
That's the name of the game. I mean, when you have a champion that's just so dominant like Usman was and clear out the division like he did, it's kind of hard to give anybody else a shot that's already had it. I mean, if Burns beats Masvidal in like emphatic fashion, you probably give Burns a shot. But I mean, the timelines match up pretty well because they're fighting in April.
Yeah, I was thinking about that now, and I forgot about that Burns fight. I'm just going on. I'm like, why is Colby even in London? That's a question that I'm still trying to figure out.
Well, I mean, he was the backup fighter in case anyone pulled out. Probably why he hasn't taken any fight, because he knew he was probably going to be the backup.
Yeah. Bottom line, amazing performance by Leon.
I agree.
Amazing performance.
I think he really solidified that even though he was pretty much dominated the entire time during the last fight, that head kick was no accident. He timed that, he planned it, he saw it, he executed.
He responded to being dominated by dominating.
That's a good way to put it.
Absolutely amazing performance.
Great performance by Leon there. But moving on to your co-main event, you had one of the most back and forth, slug it out, digging deep fights on this card. Justin Gaethje defeats Rafael Fiziev by majority decision. Now, that was a barn burner.
Absolute fireworks the entire time. First round got a little sketchy for Gaethje. I was a little bit worried for him. Fiziev came out. See that pronunciation? Very good for those at home. He came out fast. That's
Very
what I would say. Fast. Fast and violent. Gaethje, slow, more violent.
I would say that's pretty much the definition of it. I mean, Fiziev would pretty much get off first, and Gaethje would kind of wait for his openings. It took him a while to kind of get those openings settled there, like in the third round when he started landing those uppercuts when Fiziev started coming in, but definitely a big discrepancy in the speed department.
And then especially after the fight, like I didn't really notice it while watching it, but the damage really was apparent after the fight. I was like, what the heck? I think that third round, I think Gaethje had 40, like low 40s, 42 significant strikes, and I think Fiziev had, 20? Like he really just, that third round was a statement.
And hey, for all you people out there that said there's no way Justin Gaethje's going to shoot for a takedown, he landed one.
Hey, 1 of 1.
1 of 1.
That's good.
Shot for 2, landed 1. He at least tried. So you can shut up about him not trying takedowns anymore. I mean, I'd like to see him try that against like Beneil or something, but still, he went for a takedown.
His takedown accuracy is actually pretty good.
50%. 50%.
Wasn't Khabib's like 18%?
No. His
accuracy. I'm telling you.
We can look it up. Let's see.
We're doing this live here, right here, folks.
Let's see if we can figure out Khabib's takedown defense.
Everybody at home knows.
Or not takedown defense, takedown offense.
Yeah. If you've been watching fights for a little bit, you know that I'm correct here. He doesn't know how to Google it. It's fine.
I'm literally Googling Khabib off. Oh, wow. I'm kind of drunk, so
hey,
this is going to take a minute. Bear with us.
It's a live show here.
Takedown offense.
If you guys can see in the right corner of the screen, there's a sink. We keep Brendan Schaub away from that.
So it says right here, what is Khabib's takedown percentage? In contrast, Khabib Nurmagomedov has a 43% accuracy across his 127 career takedown attempts. The given list only considers fighters with a minimum of 25 takedown attempts inside the octagon. As per the official UFC records, however, Nordine Taleb has the highest takedown accuracy, 76.2. I don't know why they added that part, but whatever. So 17 to 43. I mean, I get what you're saying, but
I'm going to say that I was a little bit wrong on that, but I don't know if these are official stats. And,
it says takedown accuracy right here on his stats, 48%.
Yeah, he Googled it, so I don't know if this is accurate
I'm on
literature.
UFCstats.com.
This could not be accurate literature.
UFCstats.com. You got your takedown average, 5.32. Takedown accuracy, 48%. Takedown defense, 84%. And submission average, 0.8. That means he ground and pounded the shit out of a lot of people. But Anyway, get back to the fight. Either way, Justin Gaethje, another highlight fight for him. Even though he didn't get to finish here, I mean, I kind of don't mind it when Gaethje goes the distance because, I mean, you know you're going to be getting to drag him out dogfight.
I mean, it was such a great performance. Like, because I had it 1-1 going into that third. He needed just an absolute – he needed to make a statement in that round, and he really did. And going from here, what is next for him?
I say you give him a rematch with Poirier at International Fight Week or the co-main event to Chandler Connor.
I kind of wish they didn't make the Oliveira fight with Dariush and we got Gaethje Dariush.
2?
They fought already?
You were at that fight, bro. You were there.
They don't pay me because I say facts on the show, okay?
We're paid for entertainment. We're not paid for facts.
I had no idea they fought. I'm sorry.
I remember you texted me. You were like, he hits so hard.
I drink a lot. All right. That was a good fight, and they should do the rematch because I'm very interested in it now.
Gaethje is one of the most violent men on the planet, if not.
Absolute stud, just top 5, most entertaining, most violent, hardest hitters. Amazing to watch, truly a treat.
Now, before that, on that card, you also had Gunnar Nelson returning after a pretty long layoff against Brian Barberena. And, I mean, if you know anything about Gunnar Nelson, you know he's a submission wizard. First round, was it armbar? It was armbar, right? Armbar in the first round with 9 seconds left. So the clapper already went off, and Brian Barberena was also clapping at the same time that it went off.
I like that. What you just did there. Gunnar. I haven't seen him in a while. When was his last fight? It's been a while.
His last fight was let's see. Holy shit.
Yeah.
It was March 19th of last year, so almost a year to the day.
So he's fighting about once a year. I mean, at the end of the day, when he has you in full mount, and the man has amazing posture, and when he has that, that back posture, the Gunnar Nelson posture in full mount.
The gunny pose?
Everybody knows what it looks like. You've seen it a million times. It's over. So, I mean, Brian Barberena, not a good last 2 performances for this guy.
I mean, his last fight before this was also a fight against RDA. I mean, you're going against a legend like that. I mean, Brian Barberena to win against a guy like RDA, you'd have to go out there and do something crazy. But in this fight here, I mean, there was some reason to think Barberena could have won, but when you just look at how good Gunny is on the ground there, it's hard to say that Barberena really had a chance.
Now, this might be a dumb question, but is Gunnar ranked?
No.
He's not ranked at all. So, what, you give him, obviously, someone top 15?
Ponzinibbio 2. No, I don't give him that.
We don't need that.
No, I don't give him that. Honestly, I think Gunnar's going to be very strategic because he's a little bit older now. I mean, he's been fighting for a while, especially in the UFC, so I think he's going to be more selective with the fights he picks.
I'm interested to see, I don't know, because I'm pretty sure he's only been fighting once a year routinely for the past, 4 or 5 years.
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah, it's been, I'm pretty sure. And,
we can look.
Let's see. So, if he's not going to step up the schedule a little bit and fight maybe 2-3 times a year, I don't really know how we can climb the rankings.
So, if you look at Gunnar Nelson's last fight before Barberena, he fought Takashi Sato, if that's his name, last year, 2022, March 19th. Before that, Gilbert Burns, September 28th, 2019. And before that, fought the champ, Leon Edwards, in March of 2019. And before that, he fought Cowboy Oliveira, December 2018. That was the Holloway Ortega card.
I see.
So he's been literally, like you said, fighting once a year besides the...
Yeah, so...
that's just a glitch.
I don't know where he goes from here, who he fights next. It seems like he's basically a once-a-year fighter at this point. But he looked good. That was pretty easy.
It was refreshing. It was refreshing
it's
to
good
see.
To see him back.
Exactly.
I like the karate stance.
Yeah, good old karate stance Gunner. And then getting to your fight of the night, Jennifer Maia versus Casey O'Neill. Jennifer Maia scores a 3-round unanimous decision over Casey O'Neill and hands Casey O'Neill her first loss in her MMA career. What'd you think of that one?
It was a fight on a UFC card.
Correct.
What else you got, Chen?
Analysis on point. Not much you really say about that one other than Jennifer Maia's striking has definitely gotten a lot better since Shevchenko.
Oh, yeah. So her boxing looked good. She seemed a lot straighter, more tight. I think O'Neill was throwing a lot of very, very loopy punches. Mm-hmm. And Maia was just throwing down the middle. And anyone that knows that straight punches beat looping punches.
Yeah, especially
all
when
day
you're
long.
And also what I noticed too with Jennifer Maia is she was also moving on her feet a lot more, not necessarily like circling around, but she was bouncing a lot more, so it was hard to really time when she was going to be coming in because she always was moving back and moving forward, while Casey O'Neill kind of just plods forward and, like you said, throwing looping strikes, so it's easier for her to throw straight down the pocket rather than trying to hit her from the outside. But
It was definitely a fight on a UFC card.
all I'm saying is I'm happy I didn't see a head and arm throw in a women's MMA fight.
That's a win.
That's a win for us. We're getting better.
Jack Slack, you know.
Yeah, and we know you're watching. And then to open up the card here, which I am very upset about because I lost a parlay over it. It was the one fight that I was robbed of that I thought that should have went the other way. Marvin Vettori wins a unanimous decision over Roman Dolidze when... I'll just let you take this and then I'll rant afterwards.
I want to make a sloth from the Goonies joke, but I don't know if I can do that right now.
He's not special needs. He's just Italian.
He's the one thing you say about Vettori, insane chin
Yes,
and tough.
very.
Just constantly walks forward, takes whatever you have, never stops.
That's true. Never stops unless you're Roman Dolidze, and he just never stops circling and backing up against the fence, and Roman Dolidze is just marching you down.
I like not very dangerous. Like
Unless he's fighting Kevin Holland, Jack Hermanson.
I think I was like doing laundry during this fight a little bit.
A little bit, you were.
Yeah, I'm not a big Vettori guy. This card was very top heavy, if you can tell by my analysis.
Even then, by top heavy, means top 3 fights.
The top 2 fights were that's some good
3
content.
is
right
generous.
there. Yeah.
But, I mean, not much you can say. I really thought Dolidze had that. I wonder if I can see the... Let's see if there's stats on that one there.
He looked powerful.
Yeah, he definitely looked good.
Like I feel like just Vettori was a bad matchup for him.
But, I mean, Vettori wasn't even, like, when they were, like, coming together, like, Vettori would counter and land. But Dolidze was landing pretty much most of the time while he was backing Vettori up. So I guess the judges are giving Vettori points for having a good chin. Oh, hey, you took that shot really well. You win the round. What is that?
Vettori can take an ass beating like no other person.
Yeah. And he's also going to be in the new Super Mario's movie, so check out his cameo.
Rocky Road, hey you guys. All of the jokes. We all know them by now.
Now, your main fight on the prelims, you got Jack Shore returning, coming up to featherweight against his first loss in his pro MMA career against Ricky Simone, going in there and submitting Makwan Amirkhani in the second round with the rear naked choke.
I thought Jack Shore looked great.
He looked really good.
I thought he looked amazing. I thought he basically ran through Amirkhani. I was coming into that saying Amirkhani is like one of the best round 1 fighters and then just gasses, and I don't think he even got going in this fight.
Not really. I mean, Jack Shore is really good at maintaining distance. I mean, he was even landing some pretty nice head kicks there and just overhand lefts out, circling out of the pocket. But overall there, I mean, Jack Shore has always been a guy that I've had my eye on even when he was down at bantamweight. I did kind of look at his frame, though, for featherweight. He's kind of like an in-betweener, which is weird because it's only a 10-pound difference because he looked like he had a little bit of body fat on him going into this. So, I mean, I could still see him making a return to bantamweight, but, I mean, with a win like that, might as well just see how long he can last at featherweight.
See, I thought he looked like the right size. I was
He's just
like,
a little chubby.
Yeah, but like I was like shocked when you like trying to think of him cutting down to 135.
Yeah, who knows? It might be hard.
Disclaimer, I've never seen this guy fight until tonight, so I'm sorry.
You've seen him fight before. You probably just don't remember. He's very under the radar.
I'm very casual, people at home, I'm sorry.
But that was your pretty much feature fight on the prelims there. Jack Shore submitting Makwan Amirkhani. Then this was a pretty good fight. It was back and forth there. Split decision, Chris Duncan versus Omar Morales. Chris Duncan took home the dub. Looks like in this one here, they were really going back and forth there. Omar Morales kind of showboating a little bit too much from what I was watching there. I mean, I was kind of in and out, eating pizza and whatnot, being the fat tard that I am. But Chris Duncan, if you remember him coming off the Contender Series, he was in big trouble in the fight that was on the show, getting rocked left and right, and then just kind of came back and one-punched the dude and got a contract from it. So at least we know he's able to get a win over another Contender Series alumni, that he's not a fluke or anything like that. I mean, we'll see how well he does when he continues his career, but pretty good fight. Did you catch any of this one, or were you doing laundry?
I agree. That was a good fight, and I think you summed that up pretty well.
Very good. Now we got Israel coming back and taking the KO victory over Sam Patterson. Yanal Ashmos, if I say that right, I apologize, Yahaim. Getting the first round KO. Pretty much, if I remember watching it correctly, because that was one of the earlier fights of the night, kind of hit him with the left hook while he was falling down and then finished up with strikes. And that dude was trying to grapple the ref.
Yeah, that was my favorite part of the entire night, I'll be honest, is when this guy is fighting for underhooks with Mark Goddard. And they kept screaming, hey, you're not in a fight. And he kept fighting for those underhooks. So you like to see it. I'm not even going to try to pronounce this guy's name, Yanal something. Yanal is a fucking hammer. Excuse my language. This guy came out there.
We're over a minute already.
Put it on him.
You can say whatever the fuck you want.
It's a hammer. Hammer. Is from Israel. You know. Shout out to Kanye. Great, just absolute hammer. That's all I have to say about it. Great fight, great performance, great knockout. Patterson, I love a guy who gets knocked out like that, still fights.
Yeah, I mean,
I think he's still right now fighting for underhooks with somebody.
probably. He's probably in the hospital with the doctor. It's like, sir, don't do that. You're going to rip up your IV. You have to lay down. It's an MRI.
And he's just like going, no, I'm in a fight. He's forever going to fight for underhooks.
If you're in London right now, you might see him running around the streets in a hospital gown fighting for underhooks against like some guy that came out of the arena. Like, no, Sam, get back here. But good fight for him. I think they were both making their debut, if I'm not incorrect. But also to note, big size discrepancy. Sam Patterson was super tall compared to Yanel. So going into that fight, I was like, oh, if this guy can keep the distance and pepper him up with strikes on the outside, it's going to be a rough night. But proved us wrong. Yanel got the KO.
Here we go. This is my favorite fight of the entire night.
Muhammad Mokaev versus Jafel Filo. Third round submission with about 30 seconds left on the clock. And now Muhammad Mokaev is probably one of the most highly touted up-and-coming prospects, especially for the flyweight division there. Was able to get the choke at the end of the third round, but without facing some adversity there. I mean, he was in a knee bar that Connor was tapping crazy at home probably. He was watching that going, let go of it, mate. Fucking let go.
All jokes aside, because I'm about to go off on this fight, the fact that he did not tap was amazing.
Agreed.
Absolute, tough, savage, whatever you want. Insert whatever adjectives you want here. That was amazing. Besides that, I am not that big of a fan of this guy. When the lights went off at the beginning, that kind of made sense to me.
I forgot about that. That was that fight.
Like, even the arena, like, subconsciously, the arena came to life and was, like, trying to just, nobody needs to see this guy fight. And the way he fights, it almost like he should be in the dark while he fights.
I mean, it's pretty much,
he's like a wet blanket.
He is, but, he's young. Maybe he'll develop his striking sometime soon. He was landing on the feet, though. It's just, it's kind of like when Khabib first started in his UFC career. He was landing, but it wasn't anything pretty, and it was weird.
Khabib had bad intentions, though.
That's true. That's true.
Like, Khabib wasn't going to, like, if Khabib saw a finishing opportunity, he always took it. Like, he wouldn't not take it just to play safe. Khabib would go for it.
That's very true, actually.
That's why I like Khabib compared to a lot of these other guys now, where these guys are very risk-averse. They don't really go for anything that could put them in harm's way. That's
true. I'll give you that.
Yeah.
I'm excited to see how he does against the rest of the division, just because he's so young. And even though he might not have the exciting finish, it's still one of those things where like, damn, this guy's.
He's flyweight, right?
Yeah, he's flyweight. I don't even know how old he is. Is he fighting out of the UK? I thought he was like.
I'm a notorious hater for the wrestlers, the wrestle fuckers, if you will. I need if you're hanging out in full guard, you're not passing, you're just hanging out there. We got some issues.
I'm gonna see how
I'm just not
old this dude
sorry.
is.
Don't hate me, Dagestanis. But yeah, I'd like to see him get a tougher test. I don't really know. I think he's gonna run through everybody until he faces like top 5. Probably.
And he is only 22 years old.
That's amazing.
So he's super young, and he's already number 12 in the UFC flyweight division. So to be that young and also ranked, that holds a merit of its own. Yeah, he's number 12.
Can you pull up the rankings so I can see the?
Mm-hmm.
Just want to see like who we could even try to give him. We're making the fights here at the Seeing Red podcast now.
Sean Shelby, if you're watching, and we know that you are, just let us handle it.
You guys have seen Power Slap, I'm assuming. Hunter Campbell looks like an absolute slime bag. I had no idea he looked like that. So if he can look like that, make some good fights, I'm pretty sure that we can too.
So if you look at number 12, Makayev, Tim Elliott's
Shout
ranked
out
number
Hunter
11.
Campbell.
So Tim Elliott would be a good matchup for him. Both pretty intense grapplers. I think Tim Elliott's a little bit more crazy.
Where am I looking?
Right here. So you got Sumjardi, who just came off the loss to what's his name, Matt Schnell.
I honestly think you give him Kai Kara-France. I think you give him.
Well, Kai Kara-France is already matched up with what's his name?
The winner of that, then. I mean,
he's Kara-France is fighting Albazi, number 7. That got announced like a couple days ago.
Oh well, I'm up to date. I mean, you have to give him somebody up. Like he's running through people, kinda.
I mean, he did face a lot more adversity in this fight than his last fight.
I ain't trying to see Tim Elliott fight this guy.
No.
Are you?
Honestly, you know what you give him?
For that?
You know what you give him? You give him the guy that was on. We'll kind of jump around here real quick, but Jake Hadley, you give him Jake Hadley because Jake Hadley just absolutely crushed Malcolm Gordon in the first round with the body punch and then called Makayev out saying, hey, I eat dudes like this for breakfast. Literally what he said, though. It was pretty. I was like, all right. You do you, man. But he literally said, hey, it took you 3 rounds to beat this guy. I just did it in 1 in a minute. Where you at, Makayev? Basically called him out, Diaz style.
I like that.
It's a good fight.
Give him this guy.
Jake Hadley's unranked at the moment, so, you could see him possibly making a run.
Hunter, if you made this fight, I'd be okay with that.
That'd be a great fight because I think Jake Hadley actually has the kind of striking to give Makayev problems and maybe frustrate him enough to make a mistake and finish him. I'd take Jake Hadley in that fight. I just have to see Jake Hadley maybe get one more fight in between to see how he does on the ground.
Sure. All right. Scroll down on those early prelims. I did not watch the early prelims. I was.
Oh, you didn't? Oh.
Joanne Wood fought, and she lost a split decision.
No, she won.
She lost.
No, she won.
She won.
She won. I watched that fight.
Joanne Wood.
Yeah, Joanne Wood. She won.
Why don't they? You would think they would.
So here, I'll do it this way. Google has a better.
The UFC website is not very good.
No, it's not great. So if you look at the early.
Come on, Endeavor.
Look at the early prelim. Yeah, Joanne Wood.
Oh, that's hard to read.
Split decision. Yeah, that's why I went to the UFC website. Oh, it's touchscreen? Oh, bro. Yeah, Juliana Miller lost to Dan Hardy's wife.
Shout out to Veronica.
Yeah.
Been watching the, the
and shout
Outlaw
out Dan,
podcast.
And shout out Dan Hardy if you're watching, and we know that we are. You are.
Big fan of Full Reptile channel. I watched the podcast with Veronica and Dan Hardy. Excellent picks. If you're a gambler out there, check them out. Dan Hardy's the man to listen to.
Man, I might need to start watching them, even though I got robbed with the leads. This is the first time in a minute I actually got 3 out of the 4 fights right on my parlay, and the only reason why I only got 3 is because Marvin Vittori robbed me, that fucking Italian plumber. Fucking Goonies ass.
Yeah.
And then another fight that was interesting, I don't know if you watched this one, Lerone Murphy versus Santos. Did you catch that one?
I did not, but tell me about it.
So Lerone Murphy coming in there, undefeated, only has a draw against Tukugov, the guy who punched Conor when he ran to the cage in the Khabib fight.
One of my least favorite fighters.
Yeah, Tukugov?
Absolute
I think
slime.
Tukugov got cut.
He did?
He got robbed by a decision and then got cut, I'm pretty sure.
Good.
Are you watching him? You watching this guy?
That guy will come after me because he's an absolute slime bag. He's not going to come, but hate him. Nobody hits people in the back of the head like that, like Conor. Conor, turned around, slipped, and then hit him back and gave him a black eye. Very impressive, by the way. Nobody talks about that.
I saw him coming from behind, and then I turned around and he landed the straight left.
Conor slipped that and hit him in the head. It was actually,
Bro, Conor performed.
What are you gonna do?
Conor performed better after a Khabib loss in that couple seconds alone than most of the guys that fight Khabib afterwards.
You can make a legitimate case.
That's just me being retarded. I know that's not true.
You can make a legitimate case that Conor did the best against Khabib.
Here we go.
I'm a big Conor guy. I keep bringing up Conor. I don't know if you guys notice.
He's so excited for the Ultimate Fighter.
Do you guys sense a trend? Oh, the Ultimate Fighter, boys. If you're watching this, if you're a full degenerate watching this, which I know the people watching this, hello. How are you? if you're a full degenerate, this Ultimate Fighter is going to be amazing.
It's going to be so good. I can't wait for Chandler's inspirational speeches and then Conor just to be like, fucking gay. Like, that's literally what he's going to do. Chandler's going to say some, see you at the top shit, and then Conor's going to be like, who the fuck? This fucking guy. And he's like fucking tanked off proper 12 and Guinness, and he's just sitting there shit-faced watching his fighters fight, and he's like, fuck this.
Have you seen any
guy.
of like the videos and photos that have come out of it? Like, Michael Chandler looks like he's probably 215 pounds.
They're fighting at 170. It's confirmed.
I mean,
and you know what? I don't know. I know you don't like Ariel, and I know that Ariel, you're watching this, and we know that you are.
nobody likes Ariel Helwani.
He was on Ariel's show, did like a last-minute interview, and said, apparently, this is Conor's words. Probably won't happen. Hopefully, it doesn't. I hope not. But he said if he beats Chandler at 170, he gets the title shot against Leon.
Conor has an ability.
What the hell?
Conor has an amazing ability to make me so excited for his fights, but then also just not be interested. Like, doesn't it just remove all of the stakes completely if it's not at 155?
Yes. But I think Conor's so big right now, he knows he can't make 55. Unless he does like an 8-week cut.
He has to do that's what made him great. He had to do the cut to get into that fight mentality. Every time he doesn't do the cut, he's not the same person.
Poirier
fucked him up twice.
at 55.
Oh. He looks better at 55 than he does 70, I'll say that.
He's a lot slower at 70, I'll give him that, but I don't know. Do we know if Chandler will be slower at 70? We don't know. That's why we're waiting to see. But back to the fights that we watched here tonight. Hi. If you heard that, that is Abby.
That is what's his name? Tukagov. That is Tukagov busting down the door to come find me because I said I do not like the Dagestani.
This video's not even out yet, and Hayden's about to get his ass whooped.
Yeah, the Dagestanis know where I am.
Yeah, they have his location. He sent them location. But Lerone Murphy, back to that fight because I think that's what we originally talked about. We went on a tangent.
That's how good that fight was, boys.
It was a good fight, actually. But Santos,
yeah.
I think Santos won that fight, but Lerone Murphy just got the split decision. I'm happy he did because he kicked off my parlay. But at the same time, though, I was like, cool, he won. Also, he didn't. I didn't think he won.
We should start doing betting tracks because I feel like there's enough of these episodes out now that you can just hear you routinely say, I lost my parlay. So I would like to see how many of these parlays are lost.
I stopped betting for like a year and a half, and then just recently started betting. Like I would say like 4 months ago.
And how's that going?
I haven't won a single parlay. This is the closest I got to winning. Most of them are like I'm losing by like I would say like out of the 5 picks that I have, like losing 3, and one of them's the void or something like that.
And if that wasn't a great promo code or a promo. You guys at home can join our Discord for $50 a month where this guy will give you expert analysis betting picks.
And you just bet the opposite. That's how you win.
It's a steal, boys.
I mean, and then guess what? If I do give you a pick and you bet the opposite and you end up losing, I just get to laugh at you because for once I was right.
Promo code SHOB.
Yeah, promo code SHOB. So that was a good fight there. Dusko Todorovic lost in the first round by blowing his knee out. You didn't catch that fight, I know that, but that was pretty bad.
Was James Krause involved with this one?
He might have been. He might have been in the rafters hiding from the FBI.
Screaming, I need a knockout.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, don't put me in federal prison.
My
please.
mortgage is riding on this. God. But not much to say about that one. Christian Leroy Duncan making his debut, getting a accidental win because, I mean, blowing your knee out, especially the way he did, it didn't really cause it. It was just kind of a freak accident, so can't really count that as a win. But, yeah, that's on that one. But
overall, decent card.
I would say decent card here. I mean, like I said, Jake Hadley got the dub there, first round body punch KO and finished off on the ground. Joanne Calderwood fought the lady who got spinning elbow by Meatball. Somehow she woke up and was still in the O2 arena because that's where she got KO'd last time. So I guess they woke her up and said, hey, you're fighting today. Jai Herbert. Oh, this is one that was Michael Bisping was all over this because apparently Jai Herbert got robbed because they took a point away for a nut shot, even though you watch the replay and it definitely hit like the inside hip. And then Bisping proceeds to say, I don't know about you guys, but I didn't piss out my hip. Bisping was on one.
Bisping, this is Bisping's first pay-per-view in a while. He's been doing the power slap commentary. I think it's okay to forgive him a little bit for being a little rusty.
Yeah, a little rusty there.
I mean, if you're commentating power slap, I mean, I don't know how you can go back to this anytime soon and be
it changes
coherent. Yeah, I mean, it's
And then to open up the night, I actually didn't catch this fight because I thought the prelim started at 10 a.m., not 9:30 a.m., but Juliana Miller lost her debut against the aforementioned Dan Hardy's wife, Veronica Macedo. Didn't watch a single second of that fight. Only came on, I turned on the TV and I was like, Jai Herbert's fighting. Wasn't Juliana Miller before? Then looked on Google and saw the outcome and I was like, well, I would have been wrong if I put her on my parlay. But that's your card. UFC 286 in the books there. Leon Edwards retains the title he took from Kamaru Usman and defends it against him today. Justin Gaethje puts on another Justin Gaethje-like performance like he always does against the very tough Rafael Fiziev and very fast. Gunnar Nelson returns submission over Brian Barberina. Jennifer Meyer, Casey O'Neill, women's MMA, yay. Marvin Vettori absolutely robs Roman Dolidze at gunpoint with a bullshit decision. I'm still upset about that.
Decisions him to death.
Decisions him to death.
Yes.
I guess, like I said, you win rounds now off of taking punches. So if you have a really good chin, expect to win the round. But, yeah, that's about it here today. I mean, that's UFC 286 in the books. Now, I did this on the preview for UFC 286 with my brother, if you watched last time, but just rapid-fire questions. I'm only going to do 3 just because I know we're kind of running short on time, but rapid-fire question here for you. Who gets the next title shot if it's not the winner of Gilbert Burns versus Jorge? Go.
Is Hamzat still part of the picture?
Let's pretend Hamzat's at middleweight because that's what they keep getting. That's what we keep being told.
So you're saying if Gilbert and who was the other one?
Jorge, whoever wins that. If besides the winner of that one.
Yeah, I guess you do Colby then, right?
There you go.
Is there anybody else?
Maybe Bilal. That's all I would think. But
I mean, Bilal. I mean, sure.
Yeah.
It's like a mandatory. It's like a boxing mandatory. You throw
Pretty
Bilal
much.
in there. I mean, they'll spin around for what, 25 minutes. People will go to bed.
yeah,
move on.
Bilal won't be fighting Sean Brady, so don't expect him to land any hard punches.
Sean Brady got fucked up.
He did. Second question here. Justin Gaethje, rematch Dustin Poirier or fight the loser of Charles Dariush?
I'm really not interested in that Poirier fight.
Really?
I don't know why.
We were there for the first one.
I just feel like Poirier. I'd like to see him fight somebody new and upcoming.
Dariush?
I feel.
He won't fight Gamrot, they're training partners.
I mean, if Dariush wins against Oliveira and doesn't get a title shot, I don't know what we're doing.
We riot.
I don't like. I feel like he doesn't even need to fight Oliveira,
No.
and he should get the title shot right now. But yeah, I guess the loser. I get. No, So I think Dariush is going to win that fight.
Same, I think so.
I have zero interest in seeing Oliveira versus Gaethje again.
Same.
I mean, that was pretty dominant. So I guess if Dariush loses, sure. But other than that, maybe just hang out and see if you can get the Conor fight, maybe Michael Chandler or something. Does he still want to be a champion, Gaethje? Is he still?
I think because he said in the embedded he's only planning on fighting like 3 or 4 more times.
So so the answer's probably nobody. The answer's probably wait for Conor, try to make some money.
Or he fights like just another guy who's just exciting and just kind of makes his money, gets pay-per-view, fight night main events. Like
they
that.
could pay Gaethje and Chandler $1 million each to fight just on every card.
That'd be fantastic.
And I would never get tired of it.
I would never get tired of it either.
Third question.
Rank this pay-per-view event on a scale of 1 to 10. 10 being this is the best pay-per-view I've ever seen. 1 being UFC 200.
About a 5. Out of 5.
I'll give it a 6.
Standard pay-per-view, nothing too crazy.
I'll give it a 6 because Gaethje was on it.
Yeah.
Without the Gaethje fight, this card's 4.
10 for me is UFC 197.
Yes, I agree.
That is a 10 out of 10. It will always be my 10 out of 10.
Or 199, Bisping Rockhold.
Yeah, I mean, that's up there too.
That's up there.
I mean,
Either way. That's your fight card. This is Seeing Red MMA podcast here. Thanks again for my special guest here, my buddy Hayden, for joining.
yeah, thank you for having me. Any Dagestanis at home watching this right now, I'm just joking. Don't come for me. I have zero interest in fighting you, just like I have zero interest in watching you fight.
Amen to that. Again, if you like the video, like and subscribe. Follow me on Twitter at Seeing Red MMA. And again, have yourself a wonderful day. See you guys.